I've just bought myself a Lamborghini Revuelto, one of the newest Lamborghinis out, with a small issue. The Revuelto, named after a Spanish fighting bull, which also translates to scrambled, and that's certainly what this car is. But I'm not sure that's what Lamborghini had in mind on my Revuelto. It's more scrambled due to the 6.5 litre V12 and then the 3 electric motors, which boost the car up to 1,000 horsepower. But as I know, cars with this much power can come with big consequences. It's inside. This is it. This has never been attempted before, and this is the first crash damaged Lamborghini Revuelto. There was a green one in Romania, but this one was definitely crashed before then, and we've had to sit on it and wait until we're in our new space to show it to you guys. I don't even know where to start with this thing, but I think we should explain the damage, and then I think I then can explain how this ended up in this state. Now I believe this Lamborghini is the first Lamborghini to use a complete carbon fibre monocoque, which of course makes it lighter, more rigid, but more expensive to replace if it's damaged. Carbon fibre bonnet. In here, this car is literally brand new. Like, I think it's done a couple hundred miles, but I'm gonna have to check. Full car cover that you get brand new.
What is that?
And that is the charging pack. Oh, here is the charging thing, which has definitely seen better days, along with a lot of the front left suspension, the wheel, and most of the other stuff that was here. But luckily, the carbon fibre chassis leg looks alright. Doors go up on a Revuelto. Full red interior with a few airbags deployed. Shit. Even all the stickers are still on from new. So all the stickers are on. It smells new. We've got the key, we've got 2 keys. Oh, it smells like a brand new car still in here. But all the airbags are gone, apart from the passenger side airbag, which is good because it hasn't then hit into the screen and broke the screen. This wheel perished. It's meant to have rear wheel steer, but not like that. So this is all carbon fibre panels, so see how flimsy they are. All of this is absolutely terrible. You get the idea. It's not in the best shape. So, I've got a lot to do. What do we do first?
Well, because it's got an electric system, haven't we got to turn that off? Because isn't this like extremely dead? Is it just like a live battery right now?
Yeah, so that, how many volts is in the electric system? It's like 240 or something?
Yeah, I think it's literally something ridiculous.
It's actually 400 volts in this battery. Because it's got a battery on it, and we've never worked on an electric car before, well, with hybrid assist, the last thing we want is something to short out, and especially with everything being ripped off there. It's not the case of getting a 12 volt shot. This is a case of perishing. If you touch this battery and it's not right, we've had it. But then at the same time, we need to know whether it starts. So it's a tricky situation. I want to make sure the car actually starts before we begin repairing it. At the same time, I don't want to get a shock.
We're literally walking into unknown waters here.
Should we see if there's any power in the car first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's see if there's any power in the car. But it was completely dead. It's completely dead. I just wanted to check the back of the car to make sure that there was no visual damage to the electric motors there. £600,000 car, and it's got a Honda bonnet holder.
No way.
Look at that. But under here, it looked actually okay. Nothing I could see on the engine was visually damaged. Oh my god, we literally have no idea what we're doing. Like literally nothing. Like, yeah. So the hybrid system, I think it's got like regenerative braking, and then it's got like, you can drive it electrically alone. You can then have like electric assistance. But then I don't know whether it uses the electric motor to start up the car. I know in reverse it's fully electric. It doesn't have a reverse gear. The reverse is the electric motors driving it backwards. So I'm still kind of torn between trying to isolate the battery so we don't get a shock, or attempting to start the thing to make sure everything actually works. I'm gonna have to put power to it, we're gonna have to commit to it. Because if we start taking it apart and start fixing a car before we know what's broken, like, it's obvious that some body panel's broken, but then if we start fixing this car or taking it off or start ordering parts and like we find out that the battery on this is absolutely toasted, it's not worth repairing. Like, do you know, like if the hybrid battery is gone, we don't, but like how are we gonna know unless we put power to it?
So we know nothing about hybrid batteries.
I'm gonna put power to it, feels like the right thing to do. It's like the first, it's just a good start, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm taking precaution. Who's going to be the brave one and put 12 volts in it?
I've not got long to.
Do you want it? It's only 12 volts, yeah, connected to a 600 million volt bulb.
I'll just keep touching plastic.
Whoa.
It's a bomb.
Yeah. Oh, it worked!
Something else went on as well.
Yeah, like the
Don't
burners.
touch the car.
No, you can touch the car, you're fine.
You can touch the car.
Oh yeah, the dash is on.
Dash is on. Have a look.
Actually done 1,656 miles.
1,000. God, it's gone far in it, isn't it? Think it'll start.
We can try it.
Start it.
Usually, when an airbag's deployed after an accident, the pyro fuse will stop you from starting the car. But we'll give it a go. It's in neutral. Oh, that's park. But I've never had a pyro fuse go on a Lamborghini. Even when it has been in an accident. They've always started up. But on this one, okay, I can get neutral and everything, but it won't start. Maybe the pyro fuse has gone.
Do you know when you start these cars, I think they do only start on electric, and then when you start moving, that's when it initiates the engine.
Oh.
And we've just
Saying that, I think I also remember that you can start it in sport mode, which stops the electric.
try that.
You'd think these cars would have to be extra safe in an accident, especially with that high voltage battery. Right, that's Corsa. Will it start up just in Corsa? And that probably explains the reason. No. What do you reckon? Why it won't start? We're gonna look for the pyro fuse, because I would feel a lot better if this car did start before we worked on it. But if it doesn't, it's going to have to be another one of them cars that we commit to working on and try and find out whether it starts at the end, which I don't want to do. Usually, the pyro fuse is located just after the battery or pretty close to it, and it only cuts power going to the starter motor on the car. You'll still get all the electrics working inside, just like we had a minute ago, but when you press the start button, there's no power able to go to the start motor. So now we're just stripping off the front of the car, and then we're going to take out the storage tub, and hopefully we'll find the 12 volt battery underneath everything, and that should lead us to the pyro fuse.
What fluid's in that?
Whatever it is, it's not got any in.
Yeah.
This looks like a whole cooling system for the battery, look. Water pump, cooling system, and worrying there, there's no water in it, or whatever's meant to be in there. TVAI, which is actually a type of oil, which provides good dielectric strength. Oil? The battery? I thought that's what the whole idea was, to get rid of. No luck there then. Next thing I tried was plugging in my diagnostic tool to see if that would tell me the reason this car won't start, but my tool wouldn't read it.
Dips,
Yo,
do you think you can get this started?
I'm really not sure, to be honest.
So we got Dips down here to plug in his diagnostic tool to see if that would read the car, but no luck. So we're seeing this more and more over and over again. The newer the cars get, the least thing they want is DIYs working on the car. And this is another perfect example. We cannot even talk to the car unless we have an Otis. And Otis, you can't even buy public, can you?
So you can get Otis for VAG, so VW Audi Seat Skoda.
Yeah.
But for Otis for Lamborghini, it's locked down a lot.
So we can't even get the tool which speaks to the car. So we're back to plan A. Try and find this pyro fuse. And we found in the footwell of the car, the battery.
Oh, there is a battery there.
This looks like the regular 12 volt battery in a normal car. And if there's going to be a pyro fuse, it'll be around here. There was even a fuse labelled with this little tag here, which has got something to do with the electrical system, I'm sure. So the first step was to get the battery out.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent, adaptive, effortless. It doesn't replace...
That's literally what you see in like Toys R Us.
Like the quad bikes and stuff.
Quad bikes and that, yeah. There's going to be a pyro fuse. It's going to be in there. So I got to work at taking this box apart to see if there's a pyro fuse cutting the power to the starter motor in there. Oh, nothing on there. They're just main fuses for the car. Yeah. Main battery and isolator switch.
That sounds positive.
Do you think it's that one?
Oh, it could be that. Yeah, maybe.
In the manual you get with the car, it mentioned this label fuse here is for the high voltage system. And there's potential that this fuse is broken, working as a pyro fuse. We're going to test it. Fuse is good. So we've tried literally everything. There doesn't seem to be a pyro fuse cutting power to the starter motor. The fuse which cuts power to the high voltage system is good. And I went through checking all of the other fuses, which all seem well as well. We still can't find the reason why this car won't start.
We can test to see whether there's a continuity between the top of that onto the starter motor without any jobs in the starter. We'll put a jump lead on the starter motor, bring it out here, and then you can do a continuity test.
Yeah, but we've got to get to the starter motor first, haven't we?
Oh yeah, you can't find the starter motor.
And does it have one? Doesn't the hybrid motor start?
Doubt it.
Do you know if you were a hybrid robot
Yeah.
and you only had one leg and 2 arms, would you start?
One leg and 2 arms.
Well, that's what like this, isn't it? It's only got 3
Try my
wheels.
best.
Yeah.
Do you know if we rang Lamborghini and said, why is it not starting?
And show them a picture of it.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say because it's got 1 leg and 2 arms. At the minute, it doesn't seem to want to do anything. Like when I press the start button, it doesn't do anything at the minute.
The key fob battery opening the car.
Yeah, that opens the car.
That's opening all okay. And you're saying you're getting lights on the dashboard with no engine.
Yeah. Will the car start if the hybrid battery is low?
It should still start. I need really to fix the workshop control. Is there any chance I can give you a call back in at 8 o'clock tomorrow? So I'll give you a call in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, yeah.
Alright.
Yo, it's Matt.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man. Do you know when your Revolto wouldn't start?
Yes.
Was it because the hybrid battery was flat? Or can you start it with the hybrid battery being flat?
If the hybrid battery's flat,
Yeah.
it doesn't make no difference because it'll just go straight onto petrol.
Can you start it up and it just go boom when you hear all 12 cylinders fire? It never... Because I didn't know whether it just starts up in electric mode all the time.
No, you can go straight to hybrid, straight to petrol. Do you know that the twirly one?
Yeah.
If you just twist that across, it should start straight into petrol.
Okay, so I'll switch the twirly one and then...
The twirly one.
Okay, so we've got the regular 12 volt battery on charge now because that was pretty low on power. And whilst that charges up, and whilst we wait for Lamborghini to call us back, we're starting to strip off more parts to see if it'll give us any more clues on why this car won't start. There's nothing there, is there? The also worrying thing, this is all carbon fibre down here. And look at that. Perish. Front subframe has taken one for the team. Thing is, because there's been literally no other crash damage Revoltos, not even Lamborghini are gonna know how this car reacts in an accident. Because again, every accident's different. So it's down to us to try and figure this out. And again, there's no workshop manuals online about this car, and there's a very slim chance that Lamborghini are gonna give us any repair procedures, because as we already covered, they don't really want DIYers working on the car. But the more we stripped, the more damage we found. Oh wow, I think we found why we crashed. Stood 1,000 miles.
sideways.
Done 1,000 miles and that's what the tyre looks like. The tyre was not the healthiest.
Definitely not run that engine in properly, have they?
But the good news, on the right hand side of the car, all the suspension and the brakes looked all okay. I started stripping apart the car even further. My aim was to try and get the whole back engine cover off. Then that should expose everything around the engine of the car. Hopefully finding the reason why this car won't start. Right, are we any closer to a pyro fuse? But we weren't any closer. Our only option now was to try and find the starter motor to see if we could manually turn the car over ourselves. And on the Revolto, the gearbox is at the back of the car, which means we've got to take off more parts from it, including the entire exhaust system. Oh! Aftermarket exhaust on that. Titanium exhaust on that. You can just see it. Look at that mental thing. Oh my days. That would have absolutely howled.
I found the starter motor.
My dad was right. It seems what Lamborghini gained in weight by putting in the hybrid system, they tried to lose with other things, like the starter motor and the reverse gear. Now, it's electric which does that. It seems that the hybrid motor actually starts the car, which would mean we'd have to have charge in the hybrid battery to be able to start it, which I think we had. So I've left the battery on charge and we are at, what we at? 12.5 volts, which should be enough with a jumper pack to get the Revolto started, I think. Now this is the 12 volt battery, which does all the body electrics on the car. But I assume even if this is flat, neither of it would work. So now that I've got this charged up, I'm popping this back in place and give it another go at starting. It might work, it might not work, but it's worth trying. Okay, we're gonna just try it. Ready? And still nothing.
No? Are you pressing it?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh no.
We're gonna have to try another solution. The more time we waste on trying to start it, the less time we have to fix it. The craziest thing about all of this, if you guys went on my Instagram and scrolled all the way to posts from 2015, you'd see this one. A photo I took of an Aventador in the restaurant car park of where I used to work, and I captioned it, "Had a visit from my future car at work today." And now, I've not only bought the successor of the Aventador, I've got to try and fix it. What a journey. And if you want to join the journey, now's a great time to subscribe. Still can't solve the starting issue. So what we're going to do as well is another thing that might be stopping it is all these airbags being deployed. And because the car's recognised airbag deployed, it might not start. So these are really hard to get hold of from Lamborghini. We don't even think you can buy them unless you're a Lamborghini registered dealer. So we've heard that the airbag team can reset these, and as long as they're not cut or pierced in any way, which we should be okay. If we can get these off and send them away, we should be good. So that's our next step. We're going to take these off. I've also got to get the seat one repaired as well, and the driver's steering wheel airbag as well. That's the plan now. Let's get to it. We might as well make a start, and a good start will be getting all the deployed airbags out of the car. Starting off with the seat. 2 bolts to the front, 2 bolts to the back, and 1 bolt which anchors the seat belt to the seat. Underneath, there's a few electrical connections. Disconnect them, and out comes the seat. 1 seat out. I think these are the comfort seats. Yeah, I think we'll be able to buy an airbag there, and then have this seat fit, re-stitched. I think we'll go for the same red. I quite like the red. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? 1 step, done. Liam's gonna take his seat out now. Whilst Liam's taking out the driver's seat, I've started stripping out the interior. I've got to strip most of it out so I can access the curtain airbags which are deployed on each side. And I didn't realise before that once these have been deployed, they can actually be fixed and reset. You just have to send them away to do so. As it seems pretty difficult to get airbags from Lamborghini itself. There's a few bolts holding it in, and finally the curtain airbag's out. There we go! And that is 1 curtain airbag out. Another job we always need to do is either replace the seat belts or get them fixed. The explosive normally goes off in the belt, which retracts the driver or passenger back in the seat to make sure they're in a safe place when the airbag's deployed. Yes! Belt off. And that's most of the interior stripped. On to the next step, the steering wheel airbag. We want to get this out. We can't reset this because it's broken the lever. So we're gonna have to work away trying to find where we can get one of these from, because it seems like we can't actually order airbags from Lamborghini. Normally, there's a little hole on the side. What I ended up having to do is remove the carbon cowling from the back of the steering wheel to access a hole where I pushed my screwdriver in to release the airbag. Oh! The wiring may be slightly perished, but it did come off. That was very odd. Look at that. That's the steering wheel airbag out, curtain airbags, seat belts, all ready to be reset or replaced. Okay, airbags being sent away. Still no start up, but we're trying to assess the damage of this. Full carbon to fibre tub. Now I think what looks like this broken carbon fibre here, which I took a gamble on this, I think this is just the front subframe. So if we can get to it and just see how bad it is, if there's any more damage underneath, the best way of doing that, I think, is getting it in the ramp and just stripping it down even further. There's loads of damaged parts we need to get off. Like, there's not even a drive shaft in here, there's no wheel, the suspension's damaged. So I think we've really got to have a full session of stripping this car apart and learning what's broken, what isn't broken, what works where, what goes where, what is this, what I don't even know half of this stuff, what's on it. It's mental, but we're gonna give it a go. Let's get it in the ramp first and let's have a look underneath. I don't know why we didn't do this before, but one thing we haven't checked is underneath the car, where of course that huge battery is. And it's pretty stupid of us not to check there first. If there was damage to this battery, we're playing with fire, literally. All the battery is here, so this is a full massive battery from front to back, and that is gonna weigh a lot. There's nothing else much under it, really, is there? This damage here to this carbon subframe, I don't think we can repair that because there's a lot of stuff which bolts to it and it's just going to weaken it. I think we're going to have to look for a price on a new one of these. It's fully perished, look at that. I think we're going to need to get that off, and I'm hoping it does come off and it ain't attached to the rest of the tub. So that's the plan. Continue taking off more broken parts to hopefully access that front subframe, hoping that it separates from the monocoque of the car. Now on this left side, it's completely ripped off everything. The wheel, the suspension, the anti-roll bar drop links, the brake disc, the brake caliper, everything is gone. So all I'm doing now is unbolting everything that was left there. And on the right hand side of the car, my dad's undoing the arch lining so we can start taking off the front bumper. The issue was though, is what lied behind this bumper, which sort of brought a little shock to the system. Yes! Oh my god, it weighs loads just on this left hand side. Wow, okay. This front frame bit, oh look at that. Oh that's a bad day, isn't it? It's not looking good. Oh my god, it's cracked up here as well. I've had a look how much this is. £10,000 plus VAT from Lamborghini. Oh, it's not a good day though, that is it? All carbon fibre. But I did get the car for a good price. And we'll get to that price. For now, we've got more broken parts to get off. Oh my god. Oh my days. Each broken part we take off adds more money to the repair bill. And I have no idea of what that's even going to be yet. There it is. What I do know is that this part of the frame isn't repairable. There's cracks in it all over. So to start with, it's £10,000 for one of them. Then it's this front subframe, which I'm going to start trying to take off now. Now I actually know how this car got into an accident, which we'll get onto. But a good place to start on finding out the car's history is with Car Vertical. And some of the eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed something. On the Car Vertical check, you can see that this car comes back as white. But clearly the car's sat in black. But this is actually a wrap. You might have seen when I've opened the doors, some of the nuts and bolts are white. So maybe we'll go back to that colour when we repair it. I can also see on the report that it's only had one owner. No surprise there. And I do know who that was. Oh. Another cool thing about Car Vertical is that if you were checking a car out and it had been in an accident, sometimes it'll even show you the photos of when the car was auctioned off at the car crash auction site. So it looks like we can't get this off without touching these orange wires. And we've been told as soon as we touch these orange wires and unplug them, it does like a safety kind of close down. And to reactivate it all, it needs the Lamborghini software, but it doesn't look like we've tried so long to try and avoid this, and now it's just getting to the point we're gonna have to do it. Put your rubber gloves on. This subframe wasn't coming off any other way. We had to touch the hybrid system.
Look at that in there.
And it's a good job we did, because we actually found some damage on it. More surprises for me. But you can avoid surprises with Car Vertical, because you'll even be able to see whether the car you're checking out has had any mileage discrepancies or it's ever been stolen, which is handy to know. So before you buy a car, check it out using Car Vertical, or check your own car out with the link in the description box below and use code MATT for discount on that check. Right, let's continue getting this subframe off. This is never going back together. This is never going back together. Wow, it's well light. Yeah.
It's all carbon, isn't it, I suppose?
Oh my days. It's finally off! Next time anyone crashes a Revolto, do not hit the front subframe, because that was 2 days. 2 days to try and figure out how that come off. It's going to be about 8 days to try and put another one back on. That is well and truly perished. But it's a good job we've done this, because we've noticed even more damage. Look at this huge electric motor back here. Pipes go into it which are dented. Oh my days. Here is one destroyed front subframe. At least we know it comes off the monocoque now. But this thing isn't cheap. In fact, the price shocked me. £55,000 plus VAT. On top of that, it's the other parts, which we're just kind of figuring out. This is the front differential. So this is what gives the wheels at the front drive.
Shower your senses without compromising on care. Refresh, renew, invigorate, or uplift. With no sulfates or parabens, whichever scent suits the mood. There's a Dove for everybody.
And the craziest thing that I couldn't understand is normally you have a prop shaft running from the gearbox at the back all the way to the front, well, Americans call it a drive shaft, which spins from the engine power to there. But this doesn't have anything. Look, under here, look, there's no gap, there's nothing. This front differential is purely powered by electric only. Crazy but also clever, and apparently this front differential is also your reverse gear. All it does to go in reverse is go backwards, and it doesn't use actually any of the engine power to go backwards. And you've got one of these on the front and also one on the back, and I think they're like 160 odd horsepower each or something like that. And with power and energy comes heat, and that explains all the cooling system on the front. Issue is, we're missing a lot of radiators on the left hand side of the car, so it's not even safe for us to try and charge the hybrid battery without that cooling system being intact. The Lamborghini Revolto. Now, these cars at the minute, second hand, used, are worth upwards of £500,000. I got my Lamborghini Revolto for £230,000. Less than half price what this car originally would have cost, which I think is, well, so far, ain't a bad deal at all. The problem lies with the parts. This is what £90,000 worth of parts look like for a Lamborghini Revolto. And it's not looking great, because we need a lot more than this to get this car running. I've created a whole other list of the bits and bobs that we need just to finish off this front end. That's without the bumper or any body panels, just the structural parts and all the suspension and everything, and it's come to an additional £20,000 and 32p. So this isn't going to be cheap or easy. But one thing I worry about the Revolto, even though it's not completely electric, most electric cars' value plummet to the ground. And I think it's because the technology advances so much. Some people in future may want an old Ferrari or an old Lamborghini to drive on the weekends for nostalgia. which increases the value of those cars. But you don't use an old iPhone on the weekend for nostalgia. So the quicker I can get this Revuelto repaired, the better. But then there's other issues as well. Now what's not included on that parts list, and which we've ran into a little problem with, is this battery here. So you can see they have little plastic exits with the coolant hoses on the top there, and that one's snapped. Now they don't actually sell these bits separately. You have to buy the whole battery, which is around £8,000. And I'm not buying a battery for £8,000 just for the plastic connector in there. So I don't want to risk fixing that, because the cooling of the battery is so vital, and if it overheats we could lose the front differential, the rear differential, the battery could catch fire, it could be a big problem. So we need to somehow, or hopefully someone's watching will know whether they could 3D print that, or maybe try and get one off another car, a scrap battery, I don't know. It's the most simplest things, but they won't sell it separately, it comes on the battery. Problem. So how did the Revuelto end up like this in the first place? Well, it used to belong to this guy, Johnny. Now Johnny buys these cars to raffle off, and it all went wrong on the day before the raffle of the Revuelto. The car was going to go to a winner the next day, so Johnny needed to get a Revuelto ASAP, and the only person he knew to get rid of this one and to get some cash quick was to come to me. And of course, I can't say no to a crash damage less than half price Revuelto. And that's when he sold it to me. Before we go, there's a new drop available on the Hard Work Beats Talent shop website. The new hoodie here, you can see here, and the new t-shirts here. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. If we'd done this to a car, we'd get called bodgers, but look at that. Whacked a bolt in it and a clamp. They're gonna say, someone's gonna say that's there for a reason, and oh, it's a bleed screw.
Well, that's what we normally put in then.
Yeah.
Like a drug that I just can't deny.
This is the first crash damage Lamborghini Revuelto, and today I'm gonna try and drive it for the first time. I've done it. It's gonna start. Only months ago, this was a brand new Lamborghini Revuelto, costing the previous owner £600,000. But one small accident later, it now looks like this. And I bought it for a fraction of that price. £30,000. Only issue is, we've got to fix it. Yeah! Oh. And with us knowing nothing about hybrids, or without anyone attempting to ever do this before, we couldn't even get the car started. Sending it.
No, don't do it, does it?
So today, we've not only got to attempt to fix it, we've also got to work out why this car won't start. This is the start of the parts to replace. This is our main base here, and inside this is a £55,000 front subframe made out of carbon fibre reinforced plastic. Apparently it's that special, and everything that we've taken off on the front end fits onto that. Disclaimer, we have no idea what we're doing, but according to the internet as well, apparently not many other people do, because nobody else has worked on it. We've got to figure it out as we go along, but we hopefully will be able to start it afterwards. Let's get this out and start building up the front end, and we'll go from there. This is half price of what I paid for my first house. And to be honest, you don't get much for your money, but you do get a bunch of certificates, so I guess it's worth it. Right, let's get all of that onto that. This is easy. The front subframe holds loads of vital components on the car, and all of this stuff can only be assembled one way. A lot of the cables and wiring go on first, then all the components afterwards. The anti-roll bar goes on there, the steering rack goes on there, and then there's a bunch of hoses and water pumps for the cooling of the battery system, which we're still trying to figure out ourselves. Teamwork makes the dream work. Now it looks complicated, but when we took it all apart, it's not too bad. this can all be broken down into separate little pieces, like your steering rack, your anti-roll, your cooling for your battery, your aircon compressor, which works from the hybrid system, separate water pumps which pump water through the hybrid battery, coolers which cool the oil which go through the differential at the front, which is on its own separate ecosystem. And speaking of the differential at the front, the oil lines which run to it are damaged. So Dom's at it with changing them over. Oh, oil!
Got a bucket, Tony.
As a lot of this hybrid system relies heavily on cooling, I don't want to take any risk with any damaged pipes, which could restrict the flow of oil or restrict the flow of coolant. So some nice new ones are added. I've become a hybrid. Then finally,
yeah, so 13 million reached. End of the video. See y'all on day 14, I think. Yeah, I can't keep count. I'm done.